Good morning, everyone. Myself, Vivek Kumade, Assistant Professor, Department of ISC, Savitri Institute of Technology, Bangalore. In last video, we came across some of the concept on DBMS languages. Today, we're going to see the DBMS interfaces. So DBMS interface, we have a few DBMS interfaces like interface nothing but in order to communicate with the database, we require interfaces. So there are a few interfaces we're going to see today. There is a menu-based interface for web client or browsing, form-based interfaces, graphical user interfaces, natural language interface, speech input and output, interfaces for parametric user, and interfaces for the DB. So we're going to see one by one. First one is menu-based interfaces for web client or browsing. What this menu interfaces means, if I want to interact with the DBMS, if you want to work on the DBMS or on the database application or the software, it will provide some of the menus. Menus in the sense, if we enter into this menu-based interface database application, so there will be like create command, alter command, delete command, insert command. Once we just click on those buttons, automatically it will provide some of the links to add the data. For example, create. So in normally, if you want to create any of the entity, any of the relation in the database, you have to use create table, table name, followed with the attribute, attribute name, and the data type. But here in the menu-based interfaces, with the help of the create button, we no need of giving the entire statement. Just create table. If you want to create the student table, type student. It will ask for attribute. Then we have to do the attribute data type. So everything will be in the form of menu. It will provide a list of options. Those options called as menus. So the user can easily create the database without adding any knowledge on the statements of the database. That is what the menu-based interface is. The second one, forms-based interface. So in form-based interface, there will be a form. It will provide the form. There we have to fill that form. Right? After filling the form, whatever the data we have inserted in that form, the database will be created accordingly to that form. It is what form-based interfaces. So for form-based interfaces, we have a form specification languages, specific languages, which are special language that helps the programmer to specify such forms. So who will going to create that? Which program is going to create this form-based interfaces? We will have some specific language to create the form-based database. Right? That language we say to SQL staff. It is structured query language staff forms. Next, third is graphical user interface. The graphical interface displays the schema to the user in diagrammatic format. It will display the schema. Nothing but for creating a table. For creating table, it will provide it will display to the user in the form of GUI. So the user can able to add the data in the GUI format. The next one is the natural language interface. Natural language interface means in the day-to-day life, what the common language you're using is English, right? So with the help of normal statement, we can create the database. Create student table, student name, like that. We have to do in a normal statement format, English statement format. It's having it having a dictionary. It will compare whatever the English statements, English words we have given to the interface. It will compare and it will match. And according to that, it will create the database. It will having a dictionary. The dictionary contains the words. Okay, those words is going to be converted into a database. Next, speech input and output. Okay, here no need of typing and all. Directly we're going to do the speech. We're going to say create table, table name, create table student. So the application that will be in such a manner that it will capture the speech and it will convert that to database. How means in that application it's having a library. It's having a library. So for example, I'm giving a command like insert a value into student name like ABC. So these words will be there in the library in that application. So it will compare those words, it will catch and compare those words. If that words is matched, then that operation will be carried out on that interface. So next is interface for parametric user. Parametric user means the person who will use the database repeatedly, who will perform the same operation repeatedly. For example, clerks in the railway station, right? So the main role of the clerk is to book the tickets for the customers, for the customers. So if one customer comes, he'll perform the same operation. If the 10 customer comes, he'll perform the same operation. Right? He'll add the same data to the database, like name, then which birth he need, then what is the age of that person. Each and everything is going to add the database. The same data is going to be added repeatedly by using that database software. So there is some interfaces used, we have developed only for the parametric users. Next is interface for the DBA. For database administrator, he is going to provide the privileges for other users. So the privilege commands will be given for the in this interface for the DBA, so that it will be helpful for him to create the account, setting system parameters, and granting account authorization, then changing the schema and reorganizing the storage structure of the database. All these actions, all these things you're going to do on the database. So you should have that privilege, so that those commands will be there in the for this interfaces for the DBA. So these are some of the interfaces. Through these interfaces, we can go into what communicate with the database. This is regarding DBMS interfaces. Thanks for watching.